whatever happened to Andy Benton, another character who got the Venom symbiote? And also, what about Conan, Deadpool, and the X-Men? We left off with them battling each other. Let's find out what's going on there, as we are the Comicstorian channel, where we take some of your favorite trade paperbacks and single issues and I break them down into digestible bites to help you understand, and then we read them dramatically back to you. All alterations of the panels, text, and images are to prevent copyright problems, and all art is owned by its respective companies. Today we're going to be bringing you the conclusion to the Savage Avengers tie-in. When we last left off, Conan ended up teaming up with Nightflyer and Deadpool, and he ended up battling against the X-Men as they were trying to break into the Hellfire Club to get plenty of money. Conan just wants to talk to Wolverine. Deadpool is just Deadpool, and Nightflyer's doing his own thing. But as they broke into the Hellfire Club, Iceman, Forge, and various other X-Men showed up to stop them. So let's find out how that's going to resolve today. Also, we have another one-shot tie-in involving Andy Benton. For those of you who don't know, when Flash Thompson was Venom, Venom broke off and made another symbiote known as Mania. Andy Benton became Mania, but later her Venom symbiote was taken from her. She now has the Scream symbiote, which was a spin-off of Carnage. And while that all sounds confusing, all you really need to know is that Andy Benton used to be a female Venom and now has a Venom symbiote that focuses on using its hair, known as Scream. Alright, let's get into these stories. Savage Avengers number 19. As the steam rises and Conan looks down at the pile of shattered ice that he just smashed, Iceman says that humans are so quick to murder them. Imagine if they treated humans like this. Conan tells him that he is no man. Iceman pulls himself back together, telling him, "No, you're not. When I was a kid, I was presented as a snowman. I didn't want to scare anyone, but those days are long gone." Nightflyer calls out that it's time for everyone to go. Let's move! But just before Nightflyer could take off, a portal from Krakoa opens and Bishop comes out shooting, stating that he was pissed off and having a bad night before he got to New York, and they're not making it any better. As Nightflyer's duffel bags of cash burst open, Bishop tells him that working with Deadpool will get him murked quick. Bad first impression. As Conan winds up to swing his symbiote hammer, he tells Iceman that he doesn't need to pull punches, and Iceman blasts him away with snow, telling him, "I won't." Callisto spits out some blood while sitting on Deadpool, telling him that she loves a good scrap as much as the next person, but they're on the clock. You going to behave, Deadpool? Deadpool thinks for a moment and tells her, I don't think anyone has ever asked me that. As Bishop gets close, he tells Nightflyer that his first mistake was throwing hands with them. Second was reaching for mutant money. You want some? You gotta earn it. Nightflyer asks if they're going to hire them and not kill them, and Bishop says, maybe. Let's take a walk. As everyone settles down from the inevitable two superhero teams fighting situation, Bishop explains that Null has invaded Earth and captured Storm and Cyclops. Those two are their mission. For the time being, he's leading the team. They're short-handed, so hiring some swords for the night isn't out of the question. Null's got the Empire State Building staked out as his beachhead, so that's where we're gonna find Storm and Cyclops. Nightflyer says that it sounds like a plan if only they could convince Conan to, but Conan says, I'll do it. Only if by the end of this night I can have words with Logan. Iceman tells them that they have a deal, and Nightflyer says that they will be needing a couple of those duffels that they didn't shoot up. Callisto says that mutant money grows on trees. It's Bishop's call. Bishop nods, stating, well, now that we have some wings, we have a distraction that we didn't have before. So a few moments later, Nightflyer takes off into the sky to draw the attention of the dragons away while everyone else makes their way up Empire State Building. As Bishop thought, Cyclops is waiting at the top and Iceman yells out, "You can fight this! You have to remember, Scott!" Cyclops starts hitting him with an optic blast, telling him, there is only Null. But while focusing on the X-Men, Conan creates a large, solid fist, cracking Cyclops, telling him to yield. Before they all move in, Callisto looks up into the clouds, asking, where is Storm? Deadpool tells her, she's up there somewhere. And Callisto quickly kicks him away, shouting, you are so stupid, you're holding lightning rods. Just as Deadpool is pushed away, lightning strikes, burning him where he stands. Null, through Storm, tells them all, these are my new avatars, and this one is the most powerful. Bishop yells for her to try and fight it, but Cyclops hits him with a blast, but purposely misses to knock him away. Bishop shouts for him to hit him. Full blast! Do it! Null, through Cyclops, says that this vessel knows what he can do. I won't be giving you any energy to reflect back, so instead, I'll give it to your friends! Cyclops turns, tearing apart the ground with his optic blast aimed at Deadpool and Callisto, causing the two to fall off the ledge. Conan runs over, managing to grab Callisto, but as Deadpool continues to fall, he sighs, stating, "Damn it!" Conan shouts to Deadpool, "When I am king, you may play the fool!" And Deadpool yells back, "Do not threaten me with a good time, Conan!" But now, with the group spread out, Bishop tells everyone to fall in. Null is keeping their targets separated. And as the dragons come back, Conan tells Iceman that they will not simply let them withdraw. "Man of Ice, listen well. You are living a lie. You are no man at all, but you behave as though you are one. You are a frost giant. If we cannot safely leap to the ground, then bring the ground to us." Iceman laughs. "Ha! Hell yeah! Everyone follow me." As Iceman creates an ice bridge to the ground, Conan continues telling him that this world of man has forgotten its gods. This world is ruled by false gods, and the vanity pocket mirrors they stare into all day, and the coin that is worshipped by most. And now I find that even the gods have forgotten themselves. Where I'm from, no man has traveled beyond the tundras of Nordheim. If there were songs of that place before Ymir, they are long forgotten. You may not know him, but you are of him. You have the blood of frost giants in your veins. Fight like it, a man of ice. Iceman stands there for a moment once everyone gets off the bridge, and Bishop tells him that they will get out of here together, but Iceman tells him, "No need. Go." As everyone leaves, Iceman turns to the oncoming horde, gathering all of his strength, creating ice spikes large enough to skewer the dragons and hold them in place. After that, he concentrates, growing in size, taking on the black mass of mangled dragons himself, allowing the safe retreat of everyone. Later, at the old Hellfire Club, Deadpool walks out wearing some of Emma Frost's old outfits, stating, "I cannot believe that this is the only clothes that I could find." Nightflyer says that he is sorry that they didn't succeed, but he would still like to be paid for honest work. Callisto tells him one duffel bag, and Nightflyer grabs it, stating, "It was nice working with you. Name is Nightflyer. You can find me at the No Name." As he and Deadpool leave, Bishop tells Conan that he can take a bag and go. But Conan tells him, "I do not want your purse." Another voice says, "That's your problem." Wolverine steps out of the shadows, stating, "You wanted me? You got me. Make it quick." Conan stands up, setting a glass down, stating, "Out of respect, I wanted to let you know that this is my castle now. I know it was formerly controlled by the mutants, but tell anyone upset about this what I am capable of, and tell them to give me a wide berth." Wolverine grabs his glass, asking, "You brought me here to broker a real estate deal?" Conan tells him, "No. The deal is done. This castle suits me, and I am its new king." Wolverine laughs. "It's the queens you're gonna have to watch out for. I admire the stones. I'll give word that I have a friend in this old place. A lot of bad stuff happened here. Have fun while you can." Conan holds up his bottle, telling him, "I shall. And when your war with the Frost Giant is completed, I will make sure that there is something cold from the casks to warm you up." Next, we have King in Black Scream. Everyone makes sacrifices. The supervillain named Shriek sacrificed herself for the one that she loves. Too bad, the one that she loved was Carnage, and he repaid her by ripping her spine out. He used her body to resurrect a demon known as D-Mob Goblin. Now, D-Mob Goblin is luring innocent children into her own kitty cult. Trail went cold a few days ago, and it's been a crazy week with Null invading. But now she has resurfaced, brainwashing homeless boys and girls into blindly following her. She's using her demonic hellfire to hypnotize her disciples, acolytes she calls them, but no more. They will put her back in the ground, not just bury her. They're sending her all the way to hell where she belongs. And just then, Andy Benton, the host of Scream, crashes through the church windows using her hair to grab a hold of D-Mob Goblin. D-Mob Goblin shouts, "There you are! I was worried you wouldn't come." Scream then turns, using her hair to slam the goblin into the ground. As the goblin picks herself up laughing, she tells her, "You are too late! Can't you see? The black rain! The living ichor from the sky! God says that I shall send a great pestilence upon you! And this time, the pestilence walks among us! It flies through the air as a magnificent beast! Soon the children all begin to grab Scream, and Andy tells her not to hurt them. They're just children, hurt, alone, nowhere to go. And Scream responds to her, not for long, and begins to carefully pick each one of them up off of her and set them to the side. As she finishes, the goblin jumps in, biting into Scream's arm, and Scream slams her down again. Goblin laughs, hurling flaming books, telling her, "It is such a waste! Even now, you can feel the power simmering within. Instead of embracing the gifts, you are suppressing the hell mark, and its wondrous fire, Andy Benton, a flame unlike any other on the earth." Scream reaches up with her hair, telling her it is not a gift, it is a curse, and she begins to pull the support beams holding the roof down, causing the ceiling to fall on D-Mob-Goblin. D-Mob-Goblin flies out with her glider, laughing, stating, "It is time for you to spread the gospel." Scream gets ready to follow, but Andy stops her, telling her that they need to save the children first. Scream pulls back, growing more arms, taking the form of a spider, stating that means they must adapt. After getting everyone out, Scream tells them that they are safe, and they need to go feast. It's 10 blocks away. Find May Parker But before she could finish, the goblin lets out a sonic scream, stunning her. She flies up and she sees that all of the symbiote dragons are coming their way, yelling, "Look! The angel heralds his arrival! His wrath is now upon you. Let those who have sinned fall to your knees!" Scream quickly scales a nearby building, jumping up, sprouting wings, gliding over the goblin, asking, "How are you flying without the glider?" D-Mob-Goblin struggles to push Scream free, but Scream sinks her tendrils into the glider, knocking D-Mob off, stating that she should ask if their god can answer your cries now. The two tumble to the building below, with the goblin jumping to her feet, clawing at Scream's chest, telling her, "You are such a waste of that hell mark! Humans always run from their demons, trying to hide who they are. But they, what they truly are a demon themselves." Goblin screams again, nearly ripping Scream off of Andy. But she pulls herself, wrapping the strands of her hair around the goblins to stop her scream, telling her that is enough. As she is pinned down, she laughs. "He's here, the King in Black!" Scream looks up and the goblin turns over onto her knees, bowing, yelling, "Hark! The Lord has sent me a deliverer, the pestilent king himself. It is too late, Scream. Too late to save the children. Too late to save this miserable city. Null is here." Null sinks into his symbiote, reappearing over the roof with D-Mob-Goblin. He then grabs her by the face, covering her mouth, telling her, "You talk too much. Once the symbiotes have flooded your insides." Null throws her to the side, telling her that it is her time to leave. Once he walks forward, he says that he has sensed them in their faint light before. As Scream stands there, Andy says, "Hey, why aren't we fighting?" And Scream says that she can't bring herself to hurt a god, their god, the god of the symbiotes. Null says that they have been a thorn in his side since they first woke. They evaded carnage and killed one of his children, and he intends to repay them for that in kind. Scream asks, "You want our light? Come and take it." Null laughs. "Oh, you have such spirit! Let's see how well you fight against another dragon, now that your master is near." One of the dragons grabs Scream, throwing her into the air as the other dragons begin biting and throwing her about until they let her fall. Scream says that there is only pain, but Andy yells for her to hold on. "Stay with her. Scream, don't let go." Scream crashes onto a car in the street with enough force to shake off Scream's hold and slowly drip away. The dragons begin to swarm Andy as she lays on the car, and as they sniff the air, the hellmark begins to burn and Andy blasts them away with hellfire. She tells Scream that they are not being separated, not today, and as Scream is slithering off, she begins to come back to Andy, taking hold of her. And Andy says that they will learn from their pain, they will feel it, understand it, and they will harness it. Other dragons begin to surround them, and Scream lets out a burst of hellfire, obliterating everything around her. Null looks down. "That is unfortunate. The galaxy has sullied my progeny. Their hosts have tainted their purity, corrupted them." As he jumps down, Scream continues to blast away all of the nearby dragons until Null lands charging at her. He cuts through the winding hair and punches Scream down, telling her, "You should join me yourself." He then places his sword on the hellmark, and as he pushes the sword down, Scream burns the sword, hitting Null with a blast in the face. She yells that they did it. She can feel it through the hive. This hurts him. Null Null is wounded and with half his face burnt. Null looks down and Andy says, "That, or we really just pissed him off, Scream." But it is good to know that this god is not as invincible as he thinks. Null reaches down stating, well, you are full of surprises, and I hate surprises. It is time to extinguish that flame. Now look upon me, child, and see the face of your demise. As Null squeezes down a Scream's neck, she says that she has a better idea, and her screams, releasing all of her energy, creating a massive hellfire explosion. Null gets back up as his body reforms, stating, "How does one harness such pain?" And she tells him it's simple. It's all they've ever felt, all they've ever had. It's what bonded them. It's what makes them forged in hellfire. Null jumps up onto a passing dragon, stating, "I have grown tired of your games. You have amused me, which is why I will let you live for now." And Scream yells that he better keep his ears peeled. The next one to scream will be him! Scream then asks if it was really wise to taunt him, and Andy says, "Who knows? Who cares? What matters now is we know we can hurt him." And that brings us to the conclusion of these two chapters of the King in Black tie-ins. The Savage Avengers conclusion was right there. We learned that Conan just wanted a castle. We learned that Deadpool looks good in an Emma Frost outfit. And we learned that the X-Men can't really seem to help Cyclops and Storm no matter what storyline we're covering. Over in the Scream one-shot tie-in, we get to see Andy Benton actually being an awesome character again, and I really want to see her get a spin-off, but we all know it's probably not going to happen. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and don't forget to check back next Saturday for your Marvel Saturday Roundup, where we bring you 2 to 4 different issues of Marvel, and we tell you what's going on in the world of Marvel before we turn them into full stories. Thank you so much for your continued support, and I'll see you guys next time right here.